All right, y'all, let's get into light and the two trees that become one, and Jesus, Satan, marriage, and let's just tie in some big points of light because we see the bridegroom. Jesus is the bridegroom, okay? Now, there is a yin and yang, a negative and a positive and a neutral where those come together, okay? So we have a right hand and a left hand. And while those are the same, they are different, okay? And they are mirrors of each other. And the right brain and left brain, they are different, but they are mirrors of each other, and they work together to bring the reality in the neutral state, okay? So when a man and woman come together, that is a positive and negative and positive coming together to create a neutrality. Okay? So, the trees that are connected, that is to come and is not, Satan and Jesus, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil, those intermingle and they grow together in our world. So with life, that creates the good and evil in one's life, because this is one man says, hey, I can't do that anymore, or I want to do that now, or whatever kinds of things, okay? So we're all these seeds planted in this field, and we're all growing up. And as the branches grow out and create shadow areas, that's the had owls, that's being hurt and such, you have to prune back your branches. And that's where you start just picking and choosing based on whatever, right? Based on the shadows, because you're looking for light to grow up in this world. So the other trees around you are bumping into you or whatever, and it either causes you to grow inward and up, and you think just because you can reach the light and you're lifted taller than everyone, that you're better. But you can't grow outward and expand into the people's lives or the trees around you, okay? So it's like, are you able to grow through that living forest on that bed on the ground? Because we see all that living life connected down there, but up top, the life is not connected up into that physical realm where we think is heaven, and that canopy, it's not connected, and there's holy areas where you see the real light shining through. That living bed is all connected as one. And sometimes in that forest area, it's all lush and green. Sometimes there's that poison ivy down there, or where all the lower branches meet, it may look dead, but that dead down there is what's bringing life up there. Okay? So the two trees are growing, and as one tree grows over the other, it comes to a time and season where it's reached its light, it's reached its canopy, and then the other one starts growing up around it. And that's kind of where we see now with the end of one age and going into another, okay? So when the relationship comes and the man and woman come together, the woman may want to do that one day, but the man doesn't want to. All right, that's the is to come and is not. I want to go there, that, or vice versa, okay? Or they may be on the same positive charge. They may be on a negative charge, okay? With women are from Venus and men are from Mars, okay? And we meet together on Earth. Then we have the sun and the moon and the days are actually ruled by the moon. That's what helps us count the days. And that the sun is a false representation of the day because it controls the day, but the moon counts the day. So this is where different things. So the woman and the moon and their cycles, okay, where you have like 1 week of really nice weather, and then 1 week like the storms are coming in, 1 week the storm's there, and then 1 week the storm's rolling out, and then you have nice weather again for a week, and then okay, it kind of goes with, I think you understand what I'm saying. And the just a little sheep sound reference going off in my brain. So as these trees grow together, and the shadows, the hat owls, those come in and they form, and sometimes the tree can start growing apart, or it can start growing into each other from those hurts, in a matter of speaking, because the hurts affect both sides of the tree that have gone together. That creates life and knowledge. And as you go through life and intermingle through the years, you learn stuff. But sometimes there's a tree that may have more birds and nests in it, or more woodpeckers and whatever, or whatever's going on, okay? And the other tree is held back, or the other tree is from those things that's going on there, that's built up in its branches, and they can't grow together, in a matter of speaking. And it can take different trials and tribulations in the relationship to either knock down those nests that have built up, where they can, to where that old tree, it can either like be broke down in those trials and tribulations even more and give more nest and birds for those things to build up and to start living in, or those birds and nests can be brought down to where that other tree can start growing again, and they can start growing together. Okay? And also think about the fruits that fall from those trees, and how the shadow areas cast shadow on the offspring coming up, to where we create shadow areas on our children to where they can't receive the proper light. And then because what we're seeing is light, we're protecting the young ones from the light we see out here, but knowing that our offspring is 20% us and 80% them, they might need other light than what we have, and we're sheltering them from things. So this is kind of where Jesus left as a 12-year-old, and then we don't hear from him for a while, and he comes back. And he said he just has to go about his Father's business. And that's going about this world and just learning things. And some of us have went about this world to learn these things out there. And some of us have went in and learned the things of the Lord God, the light that's given towards, where they say you got to do this and this and this to make money and to make something of yourself, and to say you have this degree and all this other stuff, okay? But as we are having children or no children or whatever, All right, the light, we got to be careful that when those windy days come, all right, and it flickers light or whatever, it kind of mimics that lightning and that light and dark clashing and those things. And we need to remember that our hands, our words, our actions, and all these things are just projections of our tree. We are a living earth system, and we are reproducing offspring for the next generation. Well, some of us are, some of us aren't, but hopefully you are. Because I did live my life planning for end times in a way, and that was not having children, because I didn't want to see my kids take the mark of the beast and all this shit. I was brainwashed back then, all right? But at the same time, I also believed the lie of that the kids were this type of burden, okay? And but if you have your kids too early, you can't go off and learn this type of lifestyle or a certain part of life. You can't learn what being single is, and there's different levels of being in that singlehood and the party scene or whatever. But if you have kids too early, you can't learn these things. But also if you do it too late, and there's different things, but then you can't learn the things from the kids, and you got to reset things as kids come and whatever, right? So me single up until in my 30s, and me having kids was kind of the start of a restart in my life, to where parts of that old tree that built up got chopped down in a way, and I had to start reforming the tree. And with that, you have trials and tribulations, and then you to stack on top of it the real tribulation unfolding and all this other weird shit going on top of it. And as one kind of peak happens, there's another crumble on the other side, and without one you can't have the other, and it's all there to teach and to put us there at the right time and whatever. But then out of that comes other things, and it's just whatever. But just be careful of where branches you're hovering over your children and what light you're sheltering them from, because a lot of us want our children to be little mini-me's. And this is where we make them do the same sports we did or whatever, right? We need to let them decide what they like or whatever. And you also have to let them have a variety of activities to let them decide. And today, they want us to, man, that's a whole nother thing. I'll have to do another video on that, on the homeschooling or whatever. But we can be a positive or negative or neutral charge in our life. And Jesus was that right on, man. Right on. Oh, you do that? Right on. I don't like that, but you go ahead. Right on. Oh, I'll do that. I'm into that right now. Whatever kinds of things. Okay? That's why Jesus told him, whatever you think's a sin is a sin. There is no law. It's every man is a son of God, and as that, you're the Lord of Lords and King of Kings, and you decide what's best for you. You have your own law. Every man has their own law. But since man is mostly freedom, and they don't understand the liberty, they don't understand the responsibility, then we have to come out with a broad spectrum of a control mechanism. Okay, so that's where you have the God giving life and freedom in one way, and then in the Eden, the Lord God had to come in, and he's giving life and freedom in another way. Okay, so this is where you have life and freedom outside the church, and then you go into bondage inside the church that Jesus died for. You can do all things, but they're saying you can't. So that's another type of freedom. Okay, so we'll end it here because of time.